Hi bunny lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Oliver's Corner. If you are brand new, thank you so much for joining our little corner of the internet where we talk all about all things rabbit care, and just fun bunny content. And today I thought I would do something a little bit different because I've been making these videos now for a few months, and we've started to gather some followers, and I just thought it would be a really great opportunity to just sit down and have a bit of a chatty video where I tell you a little bit about Oliver and his story and just a little bit of information about us. So if that's something that you want to know about, if you're thinking to yourself, who is this lady on the internet telling me how to take care of my bunny? Very fair question, and I'm here to answer some of them today. So what we're going to be doing today is a video called the Furry Friend Tag, and I've seen a few channels do this sort of thing, and I just thought it was a really fun way to introduce you to my pet and a little bit about our story. And so I've got my questions here, and you will see me reading them off as we go along. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the questions. The first question is, what is your pet's name? So this channel is called Oliver's Corner because it is all about my bunny Oliver. So that is his name, which ties into the next question, which is, how did you come up with the name? So I love literature and I love musical theater, and little Oliver is an orphan that we adopted, and so it seemed like a very fitting name to name him after Oliver Twist, who is a rather famous orphan himself. I remember the photos that were available online on the RSPCA website when I applied for him. He just looked so pathetic in this photo. He was all, I don't know if it was just the angle or the lighting, but he just looked really disheveled and just like this scrappy little thing, and I just thought to myself that the name suited him perfectly. His name at the time was Percy, but it's not a name that he had grown up with. Basically, his previous family had thought he was a girl, so he had grown up with the name Poppy, and when they found out at the RSPCA that he was in fact a boy, they just renamed him to Percy. So it's not like it was a name that he had had for a long time, so I figured it was not going to be a drama if we changed it. So he's now Oliver. What breed is your pet? So because he's a rescue, I don't know for a fact whether this is sort of a purebred situation, probably not, but from the best sort of guess that I can come up with, he is a Harlequin colored mini lop. He is a rescue, so I don't know exactly. Where did you get him or her from? So as I mentioned before, we got him from the local RSPCA here in Victoria, down at the Pearcedale location. It's a beautiful facility, actually. If you're ever looking for a rescue animal, they do a great job down there. And yeah, it was a bit of an impulsive decision, I am not going to lie to you, but I am someone who jumps in with both feet when I do something, and from the minute we sort of decided to adopt him, I just went and did a whole bunch of research and made sure that we were able to provide little Oliver with the best possible life that we could, because that's only fair. So we got him from the RSPCA, and I am a huge advocate of rescuing animals, rabbits in particular, because they are just massively overbred and the breeding is hugely unregulated, and there's a lot of really dodgy stuff going on out there, and there are lots and lots of beautiful, amazing bunnies in shelters waiting to find a forever home. So do make sure that you check out some of the rescues that I'll leave linked down below if you are interested in getting a bunny for your family. Next question. Is your pet house trained or outdoors? So that's a great question, and I know that it's a bit of a controversial question in the rabbit world. Oliver is not only house trained, he is just about entirely free roam. So for the time being, we are in a space where we're able to bunny proof the house for the most part. There's some little nooks that he can still kind of get into, and so at nighttime he is in a large playpen but the rest of the day he is free roamed, and if we're home, then he's got free roam of the whole entire space. If we are out during the day, then we typically might just close the bedroom door and just let him roam around in the living area. We don't even have any outdoor space available in our apartment, so it's not even really an option for him, but he is a bunny that's had a bit of a rough start to life, and that has a lot of stress triggers, and so I just think that he's much happier being an indoor little boy. What are some nicknames you give your pet? Now, I'm sure I'm gonna forget some of them because I do tend to make them up as we go along because they just kind of come to me, and well, unfortunately for him, there are a lot of embarrassing and cute things you can make up out of his name. So for the most part, definitely Ollie, which often gets turned into things like Ollie Pop. I like to call him Tiny because I just think he's like the smallest, cutest little thing in the world, and so I just call him Tiny a lot, which turns into like teeny weeny. Alternatively, if he's just being a complete little brat, we call him Demon. So, you know, there's a range, there's a range of names there. And would you get another pet is the last question. So this one is a pretty straightforward yes. I have always grown up with lots of pets. Oliver is my first rabbit, but I grew up with cats and dogs and fish, and I just have always had a pet in my life, and I don't really ever see that not being the case. But I know down the line we would love to get a dog if that was something that was appropriate and that we were able to make it work with Oliver. And in the more short term, I am definitely considering bonding Oliver to a female bunny. So stay tuned for potential content next year, because I think probably in the middle of next year we'll start looking into that more seriously. And I know that I'll probably get lots and lots of questions about the bonding process and bunny dating. So do stay tuned for that. And so that's the end of the questions here. I think there's some fun ones in there, and hopefully it's given you a chance to get to know Oliver and I a little bit better and just kind of give a little bit of context. So if you do have any other questions, do sound off in the comments. Also, if you want to follow along on more sort of daily content of Oliver and I, do make sure that you follow us on Instagram, and you're more than welcome to send us a DM if you ever do have any questions for me. And if you're loving this content, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I do post a new video every single Monday, and I just love making these videos and hopefully helping people on their journey through bunny parenthood. So happy holidays. I hope everyone has a really safe and happy holiday season. I know that for a lot of people right now, this Christmas is going to be all kinds of strange. So make sure that you guys are reaching out to friends and family and that you make the best of it. So all the best, and we'll see you again for another video next week.